Record to the cloud. Okay, so yes, we're going to start on our feet. Hopefully you can see me all right. There, you can see my head. Can you? Can you see my feet? Sort of. Okay, so we'll just start getting our standing posture sorted first. So feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards, knees not locked, pelvis in a nice neutral position. So not tilted back or forwards or back, just nice and neutral. And then roll your shoulders back and down. Have your imaginary thread holding your head up towards the ceiling. And we'll just start off with a couple of nice breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose. Feel the lungs expand. And then as you breathe out, we close the ribs back in and draw the belly button inwards. Lovely. And then just let your breath kind of fall into a nice natural rhythm, but keeping those muscle contractions and rib opening and everything just always in your mind. And then we'll just start off with some nice gentle stretches out of the neck. Sometimes on a Monday we can be feeling extra stress and tension. So just dropping the ear down towards the shoulder. So if you have your right ear down to the right shoulder, just watch that that left shoulder doesn't get carried over. So you don't need to be, I'm not expecting your ear to touch the shoulder, you're just going down in that direction and feeling a lovely stretch down the side of the neck. And then gently, gently release it and come back up through the center. And then gently, gently over to the other side. It's very important to move gently with the neck. And keep breathing and relaxing and not forcing anything. So if you're really tight on one side, you might not get very far over, and that's okay. And then gently release, come back into the center. And then just drop your chin down to the chest. And we're going to do a little sort of semi-circle movement where you roll the chin over to the shoulder and look up and behind you, and then roll across the chest and over to the other shoulder, looking up and behind you. And just keep on going. Lovely, one more to each side. And then gently back into the center. And then just start with some nice backwards rolls of your shoulders. Good. And then bring your fingertips up onto your shoulders and start drawing big circles with the elbows. Bringing them close together in front and then taking them like towards each other behind you. So you're really squeezing your shoulder blades together in your back on the way down. Lovely. And then just release the hands. And if you just bring your arms up in front of you to about chest height with your palms facing in towards each other. We're just going to open the arms out wide, feeling a nice stretch across the chest and squeeze of the shoulder blades. And then the opposite, bring the arms together and then sort of reach away with your fingers and pull back as if somebody's got, you know, a band around your waist and they're pulling you back from here, but you're trying to stretch forwards with the arms. So that should give you a really nice stretch across that upper back. And then just repeat that a few more times, breathing in and out. In and out. Couple more, in and out. And one more. Lovely. And then just drop the arms down. Now we're going to rock backwards and forwards on our feet. So rocking forwards onto your tiptoes and then rocking back, lifting the toes. I'm chopping my head off, but sure it's better to see my feet. Good. And then just doing one foot at a time. So lifting just that left heel off the floor and really feeling a good sort of press and bend in the toes. Just hovering there and kind of pulsing. And then swap over to the other side. Unless any wee twinges of pain, just go easily. And then speed that up a wee bit. You might like to put your hands on your hips and just even close your eyes. You can feel the hip bones working. And if you close your eyes, you'll see how much more of a challenge it is to stay balanced. Brilliant. And then relax. Good. Now, if you just take your feet ever so slightly wider apart, about shoulder width, with a little point out of the toes, we're going to do some nice squats. Okay, so I'll go this way so you can sort of see better. So start standing up nice and tall. Then on your in-breath, push the bum out behind, keeping your belly button nice and tight. Bend the knees, going out in the same direction as your toes. And we're going to reach forwards with the arms, so our spine isn't all leaning forwards. Or leaning down to the ground, we're reaching forwards. Good, then when we're on the out breath, we push up with a little squeeze into the glutes, and we'll take the arms back, getting that nice squeeze in the shoulders and stretch across the chest. Okay, so now we speed that up a wee bit. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, squatting down, and breathe out to stand. Good, keep on going. And this is where you can speed it up to make it more cardio, or you can slow it down to just go more at your own pace and to really focus on the form and technique. Brilliant. Good, now in this last one, come down, stay here and just hold. I'm going to count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push up. Brilliant. Now step your feet together. So you're squeezing feet in towards each other, squeezing thighs in towards each other. We're going to do some more squats with the feet in this position. So again, breathing in, bending at the knees, reaching forwards, and then breathe out. And really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, keep going. In, and out. In, and out. Brilliant, remembering to really squeeze just everything that you can, squeeze everything when you're coming back to stand. Now on this last one, come down and just hold here for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press up. Brilliant. Now, if you take your feet really nice and wide this time, and we're going to do exactly the same. Okay, so this time we're going to feel this in the inner thigh muscles. So again, start with your shoulders back, get nice and upright. And then breathe in, squatting down, knees going really nice and wide. And then breathe out. Up, squeeze, 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 core tight. And again, breathe in, knees wide. Breathe out. Lift, good. And again. And up. Lovely. Good, a few more. Trying to get as low as you can, but still with good form. So just check in with those knees. Sometimes when we do this wide one, the knees tend to come forwards, but we want them to go out. Good, now last one. Come down and hold for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press. Whew, right, it's warm in here again. I've left the radiator on by accident again. Okay, come down to the end of your mat, and we're going to do 3 nice roll downs of the spine, and then come down onto your hands and knees. Okay, so standing nice and tall. Take a breath. And then on your out breath, roll yourself down. Feel your spine stretching out. And then curl yourself back up again. Nice breath in. And out on the way down. Breathe in at the bottom. And breathe out to lift. Good. And then on this next one, come down. Bring your hands to the floor. Walk your hands forwards. And come down onto your all fours position. Hands underneath your shoulders. And knees underneath your hips. Perfect. Okay, then our little cat-cow, just to keep mobilizing our spine. So inhaling as we scoop the spine, pushing belly down, tailbone up, looking forwards. And then exhaling as we round across the shoulders, tuck the tailbone, and look back towards your knees. Good, a couple more. Lovely. Okay. Now, for the next ones, you might like to have extra padding under your knees. I think I forgot to tell you, sorry, to have that handy. Just a wee towel if you want the extra padding. If you're on a nice carpet, you probably won't need it. But if you're on a hard floor, then you might. So we're going to do some press ups, everybody's favorite. So I'll show you very quickly different levels. So level 1 would be just to stay in this box position, and then when you're bending the elbows, we're going to try, so we have the hands underneath the shoulders, and then try to come into this nice tricep press up where you bring the elbows back, keeping them close into the side of the body. And you're thinking about getting your chest down towards the floor or in between your hands. And then press up. So it's not elbows wide and head down, it's elbows tight and lowering your body down. Now if you only get a little bit, that's perfect. This is better than this. Okay, where you're just not working the same muscles at all. Okay, so that's level 1, starting from this box position. Level 2, you would walk your hands a wee bit further forwards, so we get the core a little bit involved as well. And this is the one that I'm going to use. Then there's Level 3 for those who are super duper strong. And you would come up into your plank position, you know, up on your toes and do your press ups from there. But I'm not even going to attempt it because I would fall flat on my face. Okay, so hands are shoulder width apart. Lift your feet off the ground if you can, so that you're just, you know, going to rock on your knees. Now, breathe in as you lower, elbows close. And then you have your nice exhale to give you the power and come up. If you want, you can have a nice wee stretch out in between each one where you just push back, bum down towards the heels. And then forwards. And back. Core tight. Breathe in on the way down. And breathe out on the way up. Brilliant. Take little breathers if you need to. And remember, we're trying to keep elbows really close in to the body. So this is not an easy press up by any means. Chest in between the hands and press. Little breaks as and when you need to. Good, just 2 or 3 more. Brilliant. And then just come up into a sort of kneeling position where we can stretch out the arms a little bit, because that's intense on the arms, isn't it? So just sitting up, pull one arm across the body, being careful not to press onto the shoulder, onto the elbow joint. And then the other one. And then your triceps get quite an intense workout with that one. So if you just lift your arm up towards the ceiling and then bend so your hand comes down towards your back, and then just press on the elbow with your other hand, sort of pulling the elbow, the bent elbow in towards the head, and you'll feel a really nice stretch down your tricep. Good, and do the other side. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to go onto our side. So if you have a little ball or a firm cushion, if you could get that now, and we're going to start off, no, we'll do this one first. We're going to start off holding with the ball just in your hand, up, just at sort of at your chest level. Okay, so if you get your legs sort of maybe forwards to about 45-degree angle, just gives you a wee bit better balance. And we're going to hold this ball, put our hand on the ball or your firm cushion, or just on the floor is fine as well, okay? The ball just gives this nice instability, so it's really good for lots of little smaller muscles in the arms. Now, we're going to do forwards and backwards kick with the leg, okay? So the underneath leg, it depends on yourself really. If you want to have it just straight and slightly forwards, or you can even bend the underneath leg to give you a steadier base to work from as well. So whichever you prefer, okay? So if you lift up your top leg just to about hip height, and then we're going to swing this leg forwards, just as far as you can manage, and then swing the leg back. And try to take the leg back behind the midline of the body, but without bringing your chest forwards towards the ball. So you keep your body in a nice straight line and just try to move the leg. Okay, now we'll go again. Breathe in, swing the leg forwards. Notice how your hand presses onto the ball, and then exhale, push back, squeeze into those glutes to take the leg behind you. Breathe in, kick forwards. Breathe out, kick back. In, toes pointed, out, flex the foot, lead with the heel on the way back, squeeze glutes, good, in and out, In and out. Brilliant. And again, you can speed this up if you want to, as long as it doesn't interfere with the form. So we're trying to keep the rest of the body really steady as we just move this leg. 2 more. Brilliant. Okay, then, if you have the ball or cushion, put it down between your ankles, so between your feet. And we're going to do our lovely torpedo. So again, you might need a wee bit of extra padding in underneath this hip if you suffer from that on hard floor. So feel free to get yourself more comfortable. Now we're going to apply a little bit of pressure onto the ball or the cushion, or just squeeze your legs together if you're not using anything. Now nice breath in, and then on your out breath, lift both those legs up off the floor and then release. Good, and again. Perfect. Now again, you can do an extra element of challenge by not supporting yourself with this free hand. But if you're doing that, watch that you don't start to lean backwards. So just always try to be mindful of where the body is. Good, now on this last one, lift up, hold there, and we're going to do 10 little squeezes onto the ball. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 from both sides, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to roll over onto our other side and do both of those exercises on the other leg, or on the other side. So we start off with our forwards and backwards kick. So remember the options. You can have your underneath leg just slightly forwards but straight or bent. And you can be pressing onto the floor if you really find this too wobbly and annoying, or you don't have anything suitable. Okay, so lift your leg up to about hip height or just slightly higher, an inch higher. And then breathe in, sweep the leg forwards, flex the foot on the exhale, push back, squeeze the glutes and try not to let your shoulders come forwards. Good, and again, breathe in, forwards, breathe out, back. And just notice what happens to the ball when you're swinging that leg forwards, how much you press down with the arm. So you think it's all about the legs, but actually so many parts of the body are involved. Glutes, core, arms. Try to get the movement flowing with your breath. And just take your time. Good, last one. Brilliant. Okay, then put the ball down between the ankles, between the feet. And get yourself comfortable. Using extra padding if you need, under the hip bone. Nice breath in. And then on the exhale, Lift both legs up off the floor. Good, inhale, release. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Brilliant. Feeling the crunch in the obliques. Core is working really hard. Try without using your hand to support you. Oh, I'm really wobbly that on this side. But yeah, so like I did there, if taking the hand away jeopardizes the form, just support yourself. Good. Couple more. Okay, now on this last one, lift it up. And we're going to do 10 little squeezes. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. Okay, so you can put the ball away for now and just roll over from there onto your back. Okay. Ponytails are awkward, aren't they, when you're trying to do Pilates? Okay, so we get ourselves lying flat on the floor, feet hip width apart, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Now, lift the arms up so their fingertips are pointing up to the ceiling and palms facing in towards each other. Now we're going to do opposite arm and opposite knee opening, okay? So take a breath in, take your right arm out and let your left knee fall open to the side. And then on your exhale, bring the knee and the arm back into the center. Now swap sides. Left arm out to the side, right knee. And exhale. Bring it back to the middle. Good. Keep on alternating side to side. So you're sort of lifting up onto your toes, rolling onto the side of your foot as you take the knee out to the side. Good. Now, have a wee check-in with your spine on the floor as well. Make sure that your ribs aren't flaring, that the back of the ribs is still connected to the floor, so you're not, arching up like this. Oh, I've lost track now of arms and legs. And your lower spine as well. Where is it? So you want your lower spine, there might be a wee bit of a gap there, but you don't want it to be, really arching as well. Good. Okay, then just release the hands and just shake the knees a little bit just to sort of release that for a moment. Now we're going to come up into some ab curls and prep for the 100 exercise, okay? So we're going to start just with our feet on the floor. And again, start with the arms then lifted, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a nice breath in. And then on your out breath, contract those abdominal muscles inwards. Lift up your head and shoulders and bring the arms down either side of your thighs, palms facing down towards the floor. Okay, then release on your inhale. Do 2 more just like this. Exhale. Contract and tighten and lift. Hands pointing down towards the ceiling, towards the floor. Breathe in, release. Breathe out, curl up. And release. Brilliant. Now we're going to add in the arm pumps, okay? So breathe in, then on your exhale, lift head and shoulders, bring the arms down. Good, now breathe in, pump the arms, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, good. And release, come back down. We'll do that again. Breathe in, prepare, breathe out, lift. And then breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, good. Okay, we're going to go into the 100 now, so we've sort of warmed ourselves up for it. Beginners, you can keep your feet on the floor for this, okay? Otherwise, we're going to lift the legs up into our tabletop position. Really advanced, feel free to straighten the legs and have them nicely lowered down towards the floor. I'm going to stick with the middle option with the legs in this tabletop. Okay, so hands pointing up towards the ceiling, take a nice breath in. Then on the out breath, lift up, hands pointing down. Now ready, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. In and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's halfway. 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2 more breaths. In and out. In and out. And relax, head and shoulders down, and give your knees a nice hug into your chest. Brilliant. And then relax, put your feet flat down onto the floor again. Maybe let them rock side to side a little. Okay, then we're going into another favorite of mine, another classic Pilates exercise, the single leg stretch. Okay, so if you start again with your legs in this tabletop position, or maybe knees slightly further in towards the tummy, and then exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Now we're going to grab hold just of the right leg. So if you can bring your left hand to the inside of your right knee and your right hand down to the outside of this right leg, preferably down towards the ankle. Okay, now breathing in, then on the exhale, pull that right knee in and stretch your left leg out. Little inhale as you switch, and then exhale, pull left knee in, right leg out, and speed it up. Now if you need to, just rest your head and shoulders down on the floor, and then try lifting up again, after a little rest. And remember, try and keep outside hand to the outside, and inside hand to the inside of the leg that you're pulling back. Couple more. One more each leg, go on. Brilliant. And relax, head and shoulders down, rocking from side to side on your spine. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to go into the scissors. That's very similar to the single leg stretch that we just did. It's just that your legs are now going to be straight, if possible. So legs as straight as you can make them, pointing up towards the ceiling. And then again, as long as your neck is feeling okay, on your next exhale, curl up into your curl up position. Reach up with the hands to that right leg. Breathe in, prepare, and then on the exhale, pull right leg back, lower left leg down, and then switch. Out, out, in, out, out, in. Brilliant, getting a lovely stretch down the backs of the legs. Core working hard, arms working hard, pulling these legs back. If you need a bend in the knee, that's totally fine. You'll still feel a good stretch down the backs of the thighs, I'm sure. Good, couple more. One more each leg. Well done. Relax head and shoulders down. And just rest for a moment. Get your breath back. Okay. No more core for a wee moment. We're going to go into some shoulder bridge instead. Okay, so similar to our squats when we were standing, we're going to do the shoulder bridge with our legs in 3 different positions. So we're going to start with the feet and knees together. Okay, so knees and feet really pressing in towards each other. Now get the pelvis into neutral. So you should feel a little bit of lightness in the lower part of your back. The back of the ribs are still connected. And arms down on the floor beside you. Now breathe in. And then on the out breath, tilt the pelvis back. Squeeze those glutes. And start to lift the hips up off the floor. Squeeze glutes, squeeze knees together. Breathe in. And then exhale. Lower down. You see, I'm really not lifting up very high when my feet are in this position, but I still feel a great lot of muscles doing an awful lot of things. Okay, now again, breathe in, and then exhale, tilt back, and lift. Squeeze, 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 and inhale, and then exhale. Roll back down, trying to get one vertebra at a time, touching the floor. Good. Keep on going. Exhaling as you lift, breathe in and squeeze, and then exhale to lower. Good, 2 more. Exhale back and lift. Inhale and squeeze. Exhale to lower. Good, 1 more. And lift. And lower. Brilliant. Okay, just stretch the legs a little if you need to. And then we're going to bring the legs out to hip width distance, okay? So with the toes, feet, toes pointing forwards, no angle in the feet. And your knees and your feet are both hip width apart. And we just repeat what we did. 5 lift and lowers with the feet in this position. So breathe in, and then on the out breath, tilt pelvis back, lift the hips, peel your spine up off the floor, squeeze into the glutes as we lift. Watch the knees don't go wide apart. And then exhale, lower back down, 1 vertebra at a time, and release. Good, and again, exhale back and lift. Perfect, and lower. And again, we don't worry about how high we're able to lift. It's more about getting that familiarity with the spine and being able to work with it section by section, if possible. Good, 2 more times. Squeeze when you're at the top and lower. And last one. Squeeze and lower. Brilliant. Now we're going to walk the feet out wide, so you have your heels at the edge of your mat and turn your toes out, so your toes are off the mat and on the floor. Now 5 lift and lowers from this position. Breathing in to prepare, and then on the exhale, tilt and lift, squeeze at the top, And exhale to lower, still trying to get each vertebra, each section of your spine. It feels very different with this wide foot position. Good, exhale back and lift. Squeeze and lower. And release. Good. Brilliant. I've lost count, would you believe? Of course. One or two more. I'm going to do two just in case. Brilliant. And lower. And then on that last one, just give the knees a nice hug in to the tummy and chest. And you might like to rock a little bit from side to side. Okay, now, if you have your resistance band, if you could get that now, again, don't worry if you don't have anything. You can still do the movement, do the exercise without, or an old pair of tights or leggings or something can work as well, or a belt. So we're going to do some nice big leg circles, okay? I just really like to do it with the band. I feel it helps me get a bigger circle going because I feel the leg is a wee bit more supported. Okay, so we're going to start with the right leg. Now you can keep your left leg bent or stretch that left leg out along the floor, okay? Now we're going to do really big circles in one direction, 6 in one direction and then 6 in the other direction, okay? So start off with a nice big breath in, and then on your exhale, circle the leg down, and then back up. Good, and keep going. 2, 3, 4. Try not to let the left leg move at all if you can. And 6. Good, now change the direction of that circle. Take it out wide and back it up. 1, 2. Keep it nice and small if you have any so painful clicks or clunks happening in the hip. Is that 4? 2 more, I'm not doing well with the counting tonight. Some things never change. Good, and then at the end of that one, just spend a little bit of extra time, maybe bend that left leg. Again, it can give you a wee bit of an extra stretch, so you're able to pull that right leg a little further back, just to really stretch into that hamstring. Brilliant. Okay, then swap over, putting the left foot in your band, right foot down onto the floor, or stretch that right leg out along the floor. Okay, 6 circles in one direction, then 6 in the other. Nice breath in. And then on the out breath, there's 1. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now change direction, taking it out wide, back and up. 1, watching the right leg doesn't move too much. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. Then bend the right knee again and just gently pull the left leg back, feeling a really deep stretch down the back of the leg. Brilliant. Okay, then if you put the band away and get the ball again, if you have one, We're going to do the tick-tocks of the leg from side to side. So again, you don't need the ball, but sometimes it's just nice to have. Okay, so put the ball in between your knees and just start with your feet on the floor. Take your arms out either side of the body. Have your palms facing up. This just helps you to sort of resist the urge to really press down with the arms, because we want the core muscles to do the work here, not the arms. Okay, so just come up onto your tiptoes and then take a nice breath in, and you're going to rock the knees over to the right hand side. So your left foot completely lifts off. Then use the exhale to draw the knees back into the center. And then switch, breathing in, knees over to the left, and exhale, back into the middle. Good, keep on going. Now we're making sure that both shoulders are always connected to the floor. Good, now if you're ready, you can lift the feet off the ground, so our legs are in the tabletop position. Apply a little bit of pressure onto the ball from each knee, and then breathing in, over to the right, both shoulders connected, exhale, come back through the center, breathe in over to the left, exhale through the middle. Good, keep on going. Now, extra option, put the ball up between the ankles instead with your legs straight, and then rock side to side with the legs in this straight position instead. So much more challenging. So it's up to you. Ball between the ankles, ball between the knees, feet lifted, or feet down on the ground. Any one of these is such a great exercise and strengthener for so many of our core muscles. And feel free to move up and down through the levels, depending on how you're feeling. But try and keep it really nice and slow and controlled, where you're moving with your breath. Brilliant. We'll do 2 more to each side, so 2 more full sets. Brilliant. And then just put the ball away to one side again. And just let the knees kind of rock from side to side with no control, really, just to sort of stretch and release. Brilliant. And then before we finish, we're just going to quickly roll over onto our tummies and do a little bit of back extension work. Because I always feel like a full class isn't complete unless we do a little bit of back extension. So, if you can, bring your hands, keep the elbows close in, bring your hands kind of level with your head, level with your face, and start with your forehead or your chin resting on the floor, depending on how it's whatever's comfortable for you. Now take a breath in, and then on your out breath, just start to lift your head and your chest off the floor, but you're keeping your elbows connected and you can still feel your tummy connected and the bottom rib is still connected to the floor. And then release back down. Good, and go again. Now push your shoulders down as well. So shoulders are down away from the ears. We're not getting all scrunched up in the neck. And just keep your gaze down on the floor when you're lifted, rather than trying to look up towards the ceiling. Good, a couple more, just like this, keeping the elbows connected to the floor. Brilliant. And then on these next ones, we're going to allow the elbows to lift, if it feels okay for your back, okay? So take a nice breath in, and then on the out breath, come up to where you were before, and then really press down into the hands, lift the elbows, and just see how much further you're able to lift. But just be mindful of how it all feels on your back. If you feel that it's getting all horribly compressed and squished down in this lower part of your back, just stick to, to this smaller extension. Okay, exhale, lift. Use your tummy muscles as well. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. You don't want to be all like this. And lower down. Also, try not to let the elbows flare out wide. But just as I said at the start, how we need to move gently and mindfully with the neck, the same really applies for your back as well. And this can vary from day to day, just depending on what you've been doing, if you've been sitting down for a long time, if you've been more active than normal. So just always tuning into how everything's feeling every time you get down onto the mat to practice. Never assume that your body can do the same things every time you try. Good, we'll do 2 more. Big ones or small ones, whichever you are enjoying more. Perfect. Okay, then if you can just push yourself up onto your hands and knees again and come up into the cat stretch, rounding across the shoulders, chin tucked into the chest. Always do this after the back extensions. We've just been doing a lot of that, so we just want to stretch everything out, doing the opposite. And then it's nice sometimes as well just to sort of move freely and stretch up the sides of your back with a little wiggle from side to side. And then if you bring your toes together and take the knees apart and push the bum back towards the heels. And then stretch forwards, giving the lower back a nice stretch. And again, it's up to you. You can reach forwards with the arms, or you can just relax the arms, even bring them closer into the body or down beside the body. It's completely up to you. And then you might be really comfortable in that position, so you can stay there for the final breaths of the class, or you might be really uncomfortable in that position, and if that's the case, feel free to move into a seated position or lie down on your back again, just whichever works for you. And we'll just take a few nice calming breaths, breathing in through the nose, maybe with eyes closed, and then out through the mouth. And just breathing with your own breath length, but trying to make your exhale longer than your inhale. Just a couple more. And maybe on these last few breaths, just doing a quick scan of the body. Starting at the top of the head and working your way down to the toes. And just paying attention to each part of the body just for a moment. And then one final lovely deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then in your own time, just allowing the eyes to open again. And that is the class finished for this evening. And then press stop.